Okay, weather's finally starting to give up a little bit. It has been cold here, like minus 40 at one point, and mostly like minus 30 and minus 20, but I don't know, I think it's about minus 15 or something today, so I just can't stand that I haven't been able to work on the truck in a while, so gonna get back at her. Lot of little things. I think I'm gonna have to start making a list a la roadkill and just start crossing them off. But I'm gonna pull the seat out of here. Again, it was just kind of tacked in. For those that are curious, I was interested or surprised that the bolt holes actually line up to the original holes in the floor, so that's easy. But I'm gonna flip that out of there, take the shifters off, and I borrowed a jigsaw from my brother-in-law, so I'm gonna try and get a new board put in today, and then maybe tackle that sleeper ring, and again, just keep picking at the millions of little things. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't worked on this thing. I kind of got overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that needs doing, but you know, as the name implies, just keep kind of going one step at a time, and you know, hopefully little by little we'll get there. But got to start tackling the rear diff, shovel all the snow out of here. It's been winter, that's for sure. I'm gonna try and skid in the rear differential. I'm just gonna slide it under and then use the forklift to chain it up in place. I got to do a good job of cleaning all that old gasket material off, and then I'll probably pull the axles out again and just double check that there's no foreign material in the axle tubes. I'm going to drop the back cover off the differential as well. There's a seal and a bearing that needs to be replaced, so I'll take that cover off, clean that all out, put that in there. I think it's a snap ring that holds that bearing in. And then we'll put the differential in and button that all up. As I mentioned in an earlier video though, I don't want to put that in there until it at least gets closer to zero, and hopefully the gasket material is set. And then of course I got to put the U-joints back on and the drive shaft. Airlines, they're all kind of just draping right now. I got to get some brackets to tack those all up, clean that up. I still need the exhaust. I might just hack it off right where it comes straight there, because with the kit, I think the Dynaflex kit or whatever kit I go with, it comes with the new T structure to the, oh, what do you call that, the big 8-inch pipes, but then they got the picket elbows, so they're big all the way down, and then they make the bend, and then they narrow to the whatever it is, 5-inch diameter. So there's that. But I think she's getting reasonably close. Put that fuel tank back on. There is a problem I had with a seal leaking. I think I actually got some automatic tranny fluid in the motor. Let's see if I can get the hood up here. I know you're probably wondering how that happened on an old truck like this, but heavy with all that snow. So I'm not sure if I mentioned in an earlier video, but oh look, I left my drill and my wrench. But here, power steering, use tranny fluid in this. So I filled this up a year ago, and then when I ran it in September, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't turn the steering. So I checked it, it's dry. So what ended up happening, my guess is it was leaking out of here. Well, obviously it's sitting there, and then there's a seal in behind the gear driven pump, and I think it was walking out of here, and it walked in there, and then it walked into the oil pan in the engine. So the oil's got tranny fluid in it, which I don't think is too bad for it when I ran it briefly there in September, but I gotta drop the oil, swap it with new oil filter. It is a bit of a automatic tranny fluid, I guess it's a bit of a cleaning agent, so that might be good for this old girl since it's been sitting so long. But I gotta get new oil put in. I got the seal in order for Peterbilt for that. What else? A new fuel line. I got to put that pressure sensor on. Where does that go? I'm trying to look through the camera. Yeah, so it goes right down in there, and that's what the airline that I mentioned in an earlier video, it needs air pressure in order to shut the truck off. So I think that'll work. I would like to, I did get the coolant tested at Caterpillar, and they said it was tip-top. Previous owner did said he used the right cat pre-diluted coolant, so there wasn't an issue with pH. So hopefully nothing ate the liners while it was sitting for the last 10 years. But I'm wondering if I should pull the rad off and get it blown out, or maybe I'll just get it running first and then see how the temperatures do. But it's on the long range plan. I also need to probably jack the front of the truck up here and check the bearings in the front, make sure everything's tip top there. I should probably put it on jack stands as well and check the tightness of the steering. It did pass inspection. What is that? 2002. I guess that has been a bit of time, but it was working at one point and hasn't had a lot of runtime on it since it was last certified. So I'm hoping I don't have too much trouble with the steering and nothing's too loose. I mean, it seems tight. I can't move anything, but again, you have to jack it up to verify. And then I still need headlights. That's surprisingly an expensive piece of kit. But I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking I'm either going to go with the big 7-inch rounds or the dual kind of beehive headlights. So I gotta get those. But yeah, we're making some progress. One thing that was interesting, and some people have been asking on YouTube, was this third air valve. So let's see if you can see it here. So charge trailer when parked. So I'm guessing what it was for is if you wanted to keep your truck brakes applied, but you wanted to charge the rear ones so you can go back there and adjust them without fear of having the truck roll forward. I think that's what that would be for, but I can't see ever using that often because you really don't see those third valves. If anyone in the comments section has some other insights, I'd love to hear them. But I'm guessing that's what that's for. And yeah, that's it. I guess I'll stop talking here and start working. Just a quick update on the inside. I was able to get that new floor cut out, but that was pretty much it. I know I mentioned I was going to use the heater and hide in here and do some work, but it was just too darn cold. So as I was gonna, I couldn't even move this boot when it was minus 30. It was just solid as cement. But so I was gonna put that ring in that I showed in a previous video, and then I looked underneath here, and the fellow that sold me the sleeper had all of these. So this is I believe off the 379, kind of the newer model. So instead of the one piece, there's just there's 4 of them, and you basically just set that in place and put the screws in. I think that's going to be much easier, just kind of 1/4 at a time as you go around and seal that up. So also there was a big shout out to one of my Instagram followers. He said that he scoured the internet and he found the wiring diagrams for these old Pete 359s. So it's about 6 diagrams. So what I'm going to do is print that out and put it on a large kind of hardboard, and then I can sit in here and trace all these lines and actually see what all these different colors mean and where they should go, and trace them all out. And that's pretty much it on the inside. Oh yeah, back in the sleeper they had these nice chrome air vents, so I decided to throw those up front, and then I'll just put the black ones back in that corner there. So that was pretty slick. Anyway, here's the update for the inside. One final interior note. So everyone was recommending Dynamat and Lizard Skin and all that type of fancy name brand stuff, but man, that stuff's expensive. So I'm going to give this a go. It's a Noiko 80 mil car sound deadening mat. I mean, it looks the same, and it's got obviously the sticky back, and you just press it into place. And reading about it, they say just be careful because this stuff can get sharp when you start cutting it. But then when you press it out, you see all these little dimples get pressed down, so you can tell when it actually has good application. So haven't started putting that in yet because obviously want it to be warm enough for the adhesive to work. But I'm going to put that in all the corners, in the cab, and the floor before I put the floor down. So I'm going to give it a go. It was about $100 for this
on Amazon, so much cheaper, about a third of the cost of Dynamat. So give that a go and see how it works.